Welcome back to MVM. Today we're going to be taking a look at the game Birdwatcher from Oni Games. Birdwatcher is a competitive game about competitive birdwatching. You're going to be competing against the other players at the table in order to take the best pictures of the birds around you. And you can actually scoop other players by getting photos of the birds before they can, and by submitting to certain publications before they can. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but just know that this is not a multiplayer solitaire game. This is a fast-paced, competitive game with a lot of player interaction that plays in about an hour. Now, I have a prototype of the game set up here in front of me. The final version of the game may vary, but you can take a look at their Kickstarter page to see what that might look like. Now, this game is divided into several different play areas. First of all, you have your tree, which is right in front of you. This tree is going to house the birds that are closest to you, the birds of which you can easily take their photo. Right behind that, you have the clearing. This is going to be a row of birds where up to 4 piles of birds will be formed over the course of the game. These birds can be brought into your tree. Then you have the jungle. The birds in the jungle are kind of like a row. They can be brought into your tree as well. They can also be brought into the clearing. So there are several different zones, like I said, and you're going to be moving birds from zone to zone over the course of the game. Manipulating these zones and getting these birds to where you want them to be in order to take their photos is a key part of the strategy of the game. The last zone that you're going to have is the Academy. This is the area of the board that's going to hold publications. Publications are going to get you victory points. They're also going to serve as bookends for your sets, because at its heart, this is a set collection game. You're going to be trying to take photos of specific birds in order to score points. And these birds are going to score in 2 different ways. First of all, some birds just give you point values that are printed on the bird and you'll just get those points. Others will give you point values for being part of a set. And these are the birds you see with that little banner in the corner. It's telling you how many points you're going to get for having 1, 2, or 3 of these birds in a row. So you have to take these photographs back to back in order to kind of build out a tableau that represents your photo album. So let me tell you how it works. The game is broken up into a number of days. You're spending these days birdwatching. A day is basically an action, and you're going to get 3 of those actions every round. Some things you want to do just cost 1 action, some things cost 2. So let me talk about the most basic action, which is just taking a picture of a bird. You look at the birds that are in front of you in their tree, you spend an action to snap a photo. You're just going to take that bird and you're going to add it to your tableau. Now this is basically your set of birds. This is a row that's never going to change. Once you place a bird, every other bird or publication has to go to the right of it, making kind of a line here. So you see here that the bird I got has this blue banner. I'll need other birds of the same kind with the same blue banner. If I can get up to 4 of them, I'll score 20 points. So you're going to place that bird there. That's simple, that's an action, but you have to pay for it. You're going to take another bird that's in your tree and you're going to send them out to the clearing. Now there are 4 piles potentially in the clearing. If one of the piles is empty, then you have to send your bird to that pile. However, if all the piles are full, you can choose where to place the bird. Now birds that come out of your tree into the clearing are what's called startled, so they're kind of turned sideways like this. That indicates that your bird cannot be drafted again. So you can't just bounce a bird back and then pull him back. They're startled. They have to sit out there for a while until they can be drafted again by another player. So that's the most basic action. You're going to be doing this a lot to grab these photos of birds. Now, you can take a photo of another person's tree. This is that sniping action. It's called using a zoom lens. You can see farther away. You can choose any one of the birds in front of another player and take their bird and place it in front of you. This costs 2 actions. Now, there's 2 reasons you might want to do this. For one, you might be working on a set and the only bird out there that fits your set happens to be in front of another player. Or you could see that a player is building a set for a lot of points and you want to interrupt that by taking their bird away from them. So you can grab a picture of that bird, put it in your photo album before they can, and really set them back. Now, there is a price to pay for this. First of all, you have to give them one of the birds from your tree in exchange, so they kind of make out there, and they can draw a bird from the top of the bird deck and place it in their tree if they have room. Keep in mind, you can only ever have 6 birds in your tree at once. So they're actually netting a bird for doing that, but you've robbed them potentially of the bird they need to score their point. So that's the zoom lens action. That takes 2 actions. You're also going to want to bring birds in front of you, and there's 2 ways you can do this. One way is to run into the jungle. You literally run out, make a lot of noise, and scare the birds from the jungle into the clearing. Each bird is going to come out of the jungle and go to one of those piles that I mentioned in the clearing. If you were to cover a bird that was startled, that bird becomes no longer startled, but another bird card goes on top of it. And then, of course, you will replenish the jungle with 3 more cards. This is good because it's allowing you to potentially open the jungle up and potentially even cover some birds that other players might want. So again, there's that competitive aspect to it. You can also signal a bird call. This is going to call birds to your tree. You can choose one species of bird, and if you look at each one of these bird cards, it actually has the bird call that you would use. I don't know that I recommend trying to emulate that bird call, but it's pretty cool that they have that printed there, along with the scientific name of the bird. That's just a little bit of flavor added to the game, but you can choose a type, and if you see multiple copies of that bird in the clearing and in the jungle, you actually take them all and you put them in your tree. So as long as the types match, they all go into your tree, and then of course you'll replenish the jungle if you need to. So that is just, those are both one action. That's how you're going to cycle through the birds in order to get the shots that you need. Now these birds in your tree are available to take photos. Now the last action you can take is called Publish. This is where you're going to look at the Academy. This is the publication book, Stray Feathers it's called, that's going to allow you to work on your set collection, but also to score points. So anytime you take one of these Academy publications, it's going to be added to your tableau, and it's going to instantly end whatever set you were building. So if you only had 2 of a kind, it doesn't matter if your 3rd one comes later, this is going to block that. But all of these publication cards give you some kind of special scoring opportunity, and a lot of them give you some kind of special ability that happens when you take the card. This is 2 actions, so you've got to be careful. You can't just spam publications all the time because you're getting some of these special powers, but you also want to score the points in the publications. These are going to be added to your tableau as well, and of course you're going to replace the Academy as needed. Now, you're going to see on some of these birds little insect pictures. That links to these little insect tokens here. There are 5 different insect tokens that you might see on birds. This is kind of a set collection mechanic. If you can collect all 5 insects, you're going to get a lot of points at the end of the game. But these tokens are going to come in front of you every time you take a picture of that bird. And if you want, you can actually turn 2 of these tokens back into the supply to take an extra action on your turn. You can do this once, so you could take a maximum of 4 actions. Now, once you've taken your 3 or 4 actions, then your turn is done. Play is going to pass to the next player, and they're going to take a lot of the same actions, also working on building out that tableau. Now, this game is going to end based on the number of cards you have in your tableau, and this is going to be based on the player count, 16, 14, or 12 cards in the tableau based on the number of players. Once somebody does, you're going to trigger the end of the game, you're going to play out your turns, and then you're going to score the game. And everything you've done in this game should be about this final scoring section, the value of your photo journal. Each bird is going to score its points, either, like I said, that printed value or that set collection, whatever it happens to be for each of these birds or sets of birds. You're going to score your publications. Each one of these publications is some kind of unique in-game scoring. So each one of them is going to give you a bonus either for having other certain cards or having certain things in a specific line. So that all matters. You'll want to pay attention to each one of these cards as you take them so you can maximize scoring. And then in addition, you're going to have a species bonus. Now, there's a special species out here called the black sicklebell. Whoever has the most and second most of this particular bird is going to score bonus points, and that's printed on that card as well. And then whoever has the most variety in their species, the most different kinds of species, is also going to score some points at the end of the game. So you need to be focusing on those things as well. It might not help your sets because your sets want you to have the same bird, but if you can have a variety of different birds, you'll score points. You're also going to have some special birds. You've got 4 hybrid birds that are going to be mixed into the deck that can be possibly drafted. And these hybrid birds are worth a lot of points, so you're going to want to try to find these hybrid birds if you can. And then you're going to score for those insects. If you have a complete set of insects, you're going to score more points, but if you have a partial set, you'll score less. You're going to add all of that up together, and that's going to be your final score. So whoever has the highest score is the best birdwatcher. So that's kind of just an overview of how this game is played, how this game looks on the table. This is called Birdwatcher. It's coming to Kickstarter soon, so you can take a look at the Kickstarter page to see what all the final components look like what all the different birds are going to be, what stretch goals they might have, and the surprises they have in store for the campaign. So thank you so much for taking a look at this game with me today. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what your favorite bird is. I know we have some bird watchers out there. I'm not sure if your favorite bird was in this game or not, but I hope it is. And as always, thank you so much for supporting us here at MVM, for liking, following us, contributing to our community. And until we see you again, I hope you have fun at the table.
Congratulations, you got to the end of one of our videos. Now, if you want more practice, just click on the video over here. It's another video. You might not have seen it yet, so click on it. If you don't want to do that, at least click on the subscription button below. That always helps us. And if you want notifications, please ring that bell.